WNY, watercooler.com.
January 3rd, 1993. Facing a 35-3 deficit against the Houston Oilers. With backup quarterback Frank Reich at the controls, the Buffalo Bills engineered the greatest comeback in NFL history.
And the Buffalo Bills have engineered an unbelievable wild card, come from behind, record-setting wild card playoff victory here at Rich Stadium.
A wild card playoff victory.
Yes! What are you doing, bro? Let's go, Bill! Throw it! Throw it! Yeah! God damn right! Yeah! What are you doing, bro? You guys know this guy? Yeah! You know this guy? Yeah! He's off the hook, bro! Yes,
Welcome back, WNYWaterCooler.com podcast. We got me, the host, and we got Coast on the line.
What's up, Jan Man?
Biggest game since the last playoff game, but there's actually like some glimmer of hope.
This seems like more of a real playoff game than that Jags game. That Jags game was like a gift from the gods. It was like, here, well, we feel bad for you guys. We'll break the drought, but it's not. You guys aren't a real team. But this seems different. This seems different to me.
It's a little different because I liked the quarterbacks last time. This time I don't like either of these quarterbacks.
You like the Bortles-Taylor matchup more than the Watson-Allen matchup? That's exactly what I would expect from you.
No, after watching most of last week's game, although it was raining and I left at halftime, but I realized that with a real quarterback, we could actually use some of these receivers. Duke's got to play now. Him and Barkley, if they were playing, I'd really be pumped.
We're 2 minutes in, and we're already getting to this. Barkley looked. I mean, we don't really need to talk about it. Barkley looked like an abomination out there. Duke, though, it'll be interesting to see what they do because I think he's earned the right to be active over Foster. Foster played Sunday too and was active. I don't know if he played. He didn't do anything. I think Duke deserves a chance, and he brings something different to the offense that Foster does not bring. So if I were them, I would definitely play Duke.
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much say the same thing every week. I mean, I could probably just cut up the podcast from the last month and just edit it right, and it would be the same conversation we're going to have today. But yeah, Foster is the same fucking player as 2 or 3 other receivers on the team.
Yeah, and Houston's pass defense is not good. It's one of the worst in the NFL. In fact, their defense in general is bad. They're, bottom 5 in the league in total defense and pass defense, and bottom 7 in the run defense. And attack them. The more ways we can attack them, the better. And I think Foster being active, he's out there. It's like he's active for insurance if Brown gets hurt. We don't need that. We need to. I think Williams can definitely be a weapon for our offense.
Well, I mean if we're doing like halfback passes, I guess Frank Gore's out there running a couple of halfback passes.
Oh, and then there's the special teams argument that Foster's a gunner on punts, or Foster's, or
even Andre Roberts. Well, at least Andre Roberts is hurt, so it's a good chance that he might not even be dressed.
Well, I don't want to make someone active because they're a gunner on punt coverage or on the kick coverage team. Just punt it out of bounds every time. Then you don't have to worry about your gunners and we know Bajorquez can just have the ball land anywhere he wants on the field. So just
second half MVP Bork. Holy shit! I should buy a Bork jersey.
You should. So if we're making a guy active in a playoff game because he's a punt coverage guy, that's a mistake.
Well, I mean, that's your boy. I would have never thought that we would have a worse coaching matchup than the last playoff game. This one might be worse. Fucking
Jesus Christ.
McDermott versus Baloney, now McDermott versus Bill O'Brien? How do these guys keep their jobs?
Well, O'Brien's what? How long has he been there? 4 or 5 years? He's won the division like 3 or 4 times.
He's been there a while.
Yeah, it seems like they win the division every year.
Yeah, with 9 or 10 wins, and then they lose. They're worse than the Bills. Their playoff performances have been an absolute joke.
Yeah, I don't think they've won a playoff game since they beat Cincy when Dalton was hurt. Was that the game? Dalton was hurt. Maybe they beat Cincy, and actually wasn't that like Yates who played or something? Like it wasn't even. It was. I think it was DJ Yates who started and won that playoff game against Cincinnati. And yeah, but they haven't looked good in the playoffs with Watson.
This is his 6th year with Houston.
Yeah, and how many times have they made the playoffs? All of them?
I'm looking that up, but I mean, either way, the guy now he's the GM. He's trading all these picks and stuff away for running backs and for a left tackle. 2 first-round picks for Tunzel. I mean, they're all in this year. The pressure should be squarely on them. I mean, we had a good season. I mean, comparatively, we only won 10 games. We've lost 3 of our last 4.
Oh my God! You can't count the Jets game.
For us, I mean, this is like the greatest season since like 1997. But they should have all the pressure on them. In his career, he's 1-3 in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that I'd agree with you on that. Houston, it's the Bills. It's Josh Allen, who nationally still has people that don't like him. I really just don't get it, but whatever.
Locally, no one likes him except you.
Houston. It's weird though, because I'm like kind of hearing some love for the Bills this week, but most of the money in the betting is on Houston so far. So I don't know.
The line's gone down half a point.
I'm just going by what I saw on Twitter. It's like 55% of the money's on Houston. Anyways, yeah, they're at home. They're favorites, and if they lose, the seat could get a little warm for Billy O'Brien. Even though can anyone even fire him? Do they have an owner? They have an owner, right?
Yeah, they have an owner.
Do they still have the owner that flipped off? Didn't their owner or was that the Titans guy? I think it might have been the Titans guy.
Yeah, because they moved. Yeah, the game was outside and it was on the road. It was in Tennessee.
Yeah, it was Tennessee. That's right.
Well, I mean that was the old Houston team, so I can see how you can conflate the two guys. But that guy's dead.
Together.
But
that's what I thought. Anyways,
we're gonna get. If any Houston fans listen to this podcast like they did back in 2006, we're gonna get roasted.
Oh God, that was the highlight of our podcasting career. We were doing podcasts for anyone ever. I think it was 08, but we were doing podcasts for any. No, it had to be 06. You're right. No, it was 08. Matt Shaw. We had like 200 comments on the blog and they killed us that day. They absolutely.
They did smoke us. Yeah.
But
it's Houston. They're just as irrelevant as us. I mean, no one gives a flying fuck about the Houston Texans. People probably don't even think of them as an actual team. I mean, they're a joke, just like us. Look, that's why we're the early Saturday game. You think they ever put Houston in prime time? It's the 4th biggest city in the fucking country, and they get no run whatsoever at all. They don't even have any fans.
I feel like we kind of have some interest though. Not Houston, Buffalo. I think people might tune in to see the Bills because they're like new. People feel bad for us. Everyone's sick of seeing Houston in that game, so I think we'll have a lot of. I think there is some intrigue with the Bills, though. That's why one of the games was it the Patriots game or one of those games was like the highest rated. Maybe it was the Cowboys. Was it like the highest regular season rated game in like however long?
Well, every single person in this city. In this county watches them. We have tons of people that moved away. I mean, we used to be a big city, so there's still Bills fans everywhere. We just been irrelevant for 20 years, and it was impossible to buy tickets to a road game in 1987. You had to scalping was illegal. So we just have been irrelevant since you could track this stuff.
I know. It's crazy how. I mean, we've talked about it so many times that it's been like literally 24 years since we won a playoff game. That's insane. 24 years since we won a playoff game.
We've only played in 2 in 20 years.
What 10-year-old kids last time the Bills won a playoff game? It's just crazy, and I don't even know what that like. I feel confident. I honestly feel like the Bills are the better team. I think they're better coached. I think they're obviously better on defense. I think we match up very well to them, and I think their defense versus our offense, I think we have some advantages there too. Because I think Singletary did have a big game, and everything is pointing to the Bills should be able to go in there and get this done. It reminds me a little bit of the Cowboys game, the matchup, in hindsight. But that is the Bills, and we haven't won a playoff game in 24 years. And like, can we really win a road playoff game? Like, I can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the few teams that has a good record. That Houston has good players, and they have a good record. But this seems like it's a game that the Bills should win. I mean, the line's only 2.5. So clearly, a lot of people don't believe in Bill O'Brien. A lot of people don't believe in this team. I mean, Deshaun Watson, sometimes, from one play to the next, he can look like one of the better, really good quarterbacks, and then the next time he's like, what the fuck? I mean, that's how he's been. He was like that in college, and now he's like that in the NFL, and you have this clown coach who doesn't seem to know what he's doing. His chin's caving into his face, and they lose always in the playoffs in embarrassing ways.
Watson, I watch Watson play, and I might regret saying this, but I just really like he has the occasional huge game. Like one game this year, he had like 5 TDs and probably threw for 350, 400 yards. But he has a lot of games. I was looking at his game log. He has 4 or 5 games where he throws for like $150, and they like do nothing on offense. In the second half of the season, they haven't been good, and the point differential, they score like 7 fewer points per game with Fuller out. Fuller's injured. I don't know if Fuller's going to play, but even if he does, he's compromised. So
they say it's going to be a game-time decision. He's not playing. You don't have a injured groin, and you play less than 2 weeks later. I mean,
right.
Or exactly 2 weeks later.
And if he's out there, there's no way he's going to be like very effective with an injured groin, like how he would normally be. So everything is sort of pointing in our favor, and we just got to go in there and take care of business and not beat ourselves. I know we say that every week, but that's really how I feel.
All it's going to be is we're going to grind the game out. We're going to run the ball. Josh Poo's going to chuck the ball over receivers' heads 2 or 3 times, and it comes down to who's going to make the play. Is it going to be idiot with the fake pectoral muscle that he stole from somebody in some other foreign country and he's somehow healthy in 2 months already? Or is it going to be someone on our defense? Or it's going to be like it was last year, where we pretty much we didn't dominate, obviously, but last year we beat them. We were beating them soundly. What happens? They chuck one ball up in the air because they have one of the best receivers, one of the best players in the league. He gets a PI call, touchdown, game over. I mean, it's going to be very similar to that game.
Well, last year's game, we had Allen got hurt, and Peterman came in and threw a pick 6. So there was that. But their offense did nothing last year. I can't remember if Will Fuller played that game or not. I don't know why I'm so afraid of Will Fuller, but I feel like he's sort of the X factor. But anyways, their offense did nothing. And the excuse at the time last year was, oh, Watson's got this injured back, he can't even go on the team plane, all this stuff. He was running around out there and looked fine to me. So
we should be much more scared of Jordan Akins and Darren Fells. Akins actually has more catches than Fells this year. But Fells has 7 touchdowns. We need Sweaty Knox to friggin' show up and not drop 2 or 3 balls.
What? Okay, so I guess the easy answer would be stopping the run.
Start Barkley?
Well, Jesus Christ. The easy answer would be stopping the run. But where in our defense do you see a liability?
Pass rush? I mean, Jordan Phillips has a lot of sacks, but
The pass rush has been much improved the second half of the season. And Lawson, hopefully he's healthy. But they've been doing a better job. But their running backs, like, is Hyde going to run over us?
He had over 1,000 yards rushing. I
know. Well, anyone can get 1,000 yards rushing into the feature back the whole season, but he and Duke Johnson are,
Duke Johnson had 44 catches. I guarantee he has a big day against us.
44 catches? How many catches does Devin Singletary have? He probably has like 30 in half the games.
Well,
44
we can't run a screen and we can't stop a screen. The Patriots beat us and all they have is a running back and a former quarterback as their receiver. We know they're the only two weapons and we can't stop them.
I don't understand why we cannot execute a screen on offense or stop a screen. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't know like, I'm sure we try or like we practice them or something. There's some reason why
I'm guessing we don't.
We can't call a screen in the game because I don't know. Maybe our guards are too slow. What's the deal?
Well, because you have to blame the quarterback. I don't know. I mean,
you have to blame the quarterback for not. No, that's ridiculous.
Maybe he doesn't. I'm being dead serious with this. Maybe he doesn't sell it well, or maybe there's some cadence or something that there's the defense they're picking up on, or it's just so obvious. I don't know. I mean, to me,
maybe they don't trust.
To me, I see it looks like the defense reads it as a screen instantly every time. So it must be something that someone sees.
Yeah, it gets blown up every time. On defense, though, I feel like we gashed on the screens on defense too. Like we give up big plays in the screen game on both sides of the ball.
Singletary has 29 catches.
I'm not afraid of. I'm really not afraid of Duke Johnson in the Texans screen game at all. I'm just really not. I'm confident, and I'm not going to be afraid to say it. I really think their offense is going to be extremely, like, they're not going to do jack shit on Saturday.
Well, I don't know why you have so much confidence. I mean, the defense has played pretty well, but if you throw out the Jets game, which we lost, the defense didn't look good against the Patriots at all, and they didn't look that good against Baltimore either.
The Patriots game was their worst game of the season.
It was the worst game. It was the worst game under McDermott.
Okay, we talked about this already today, but the Ravens literally had their fewest yards on offense in a game against us the entire season. We did a better job, basically, than anyone else this year against them. I thought they played fantastic. They played good against Pittsburgh. They played great against Dallas. They definitely sucked against New England, but I still trust them, and I trust them to be able to limit a guy like Watson. And after the way they were able to corral Lamar Jackson, I'm definitely confident that they can do this. They can hold Houston in check. Houston has played some games this year where they've gotten in not that long ago. That Denver game, 38-3, they were down. That Baltimore beat them 41-7. Like, that team can lay some serious eggs.
They're 4-3 in their last 7. They lost to Baltimore 41-7. They beat the Colts 20-17. They beat the Patriots 28-22. They came back on the Broncos, but they still lost 38-24.
Yeah, it was 38-3 in the fourth.
They eked out that game against Tennessee, but that looks like a good win now. I mean, Tennessee's been playing lights out.
Tennessee's been playing lights out, but who has Tennessee beat? So, Tennessee and Houston they're like the same, very similar team, which, maybe that's the same as the Bills too. Like I don't see much separating those teams. Yeah, they got smoked the other day, but they weren't playing their guys, but
they barely beat Tampa. They didn't look good against Tampa at all,
yeah,
and that's all friggin'.
Tampa didn't have Godwin or Evans.
I think Godwin got hurt in that game.
He was out.
He didn't play actually. He didn't play.
Yeah.
And what's his name threw a pick six on like the first play of the game.
I know. Yeah, exactly. Like they probably got. I'm sure Winston threw at least 2 picks in that game. He had to have.
Yeah, he definitely did.
I'm just not that impressed with Houston. They look good against New England, but I've been saying it all year, and I'm sticking to it. I don't think New England's very good. New England played their best game of the season against the Bills.
Kenny Stills he scares me. I feel like he secretly has big games against us. I mean, even with the shit-stained Dolphins, he would always have a big play against us. Kenny Stills.
Kenny Stills, yeah.
And he was just a throw-in player in that trade with Tunsil.
Yeah, Stills caught the game winner in Miami last year, I think, against the Bills. On a nice, back of the end zone post from Tannehill.
Yeah, he owns us.
I wouldn't go that far. But, yeah, man, it's going to be the White versus Hopkins matchup. See, that's their best player, I feel like, is just, we're going to take him completely out of the game. I really feel confident that White and our scheme on defense is going to basically eliminate Hopkins. So who's going to beat him? Is it going to be Kenny Stills? Is it going to be Darren Fells? Is it going to be these retread running backs? After Hopkins, what do they got?
Well, they're basically that they have our offense without their best player, pretty much. I mean, we need number 10 to show up. This guy's got to have a big game. I don't know why we don't use him more. He had over 100 targets, Beasley, but we need to feed this guy. Get the ball to him. Every third down, the ball should be thrown to him.
Yeah, what did he end up with? About almost 800 yards and 8 TDs? I think every Bills fan has to be happy with what they got from Beasley this season. There were moments where
67, 778, and 6 touchdowns.
6 touchdowns. Yeah, there were moments where you wish you would have gotten a bit more from him, but in total, he was a really good player for them. And Brown, obviously, the same. But
well, when you only score 19.6 points per game, I mean, it's kind of tough to have. Why can't we score? We're not allowed to score more than 3 touchdowns. McDermott wakes up every day, man, 20 points. That's daunting. I mean, can he sprinkle in a 3rd touchdown once in a fucking while? I don't understand how Brian Dable is getting head coaching interviews, and he's scheduling an interview the day after our game. What is this shit? Fucking stinger?
No, I agree with you on Dable, man. I feel like we've minimized how many points we've been able to score this season. We get it. I don't really get it.
You love it. You want us to score only 13 points and have us with the ball on the 14-yard line needing to score a touchdown, and that's what always happens. And this Mr. Clutch, Josh Allen in the 4th quarter, where's it been the last couple of weeks when we needed it?
Well, he made the play against Baltimore. The ball was dropped. He let us down there against New England, and he just couldn't punch it in. I mean, it was there.
He overthrew Knox. I guess the scheme worked. Knox was open.
No. First of all, you don't understand what I'm saying. I don't want them to not score. But
I thought that's exactly what you were saying.
The way that they're going to win is to play. They're going to win with their defense. They're going to win with their defense and make a few big plays on offense. And that's what they do. They're going to be conservative. They're going to avoid taking risks. That's what they're going to do. I think they need to be slightly more aggressive. Like against New England, you're up 17-13, you get the ball. Have a little bit more killer instinct there. Not run it on 1st down and whatever the hell they did and go 3 and out. Be a little bit more aggressive in those situations. But they're not gonna come out and try and.
Is there any way that Frank Gore is inactive?
No, 0%.
0.
Yeah, 0.
That's a failure of coaching to me.
I would make Perry inactive and make Yeldon active, and I would make. My inactives would be, Perry, Foster, and then
some line.
I mean, just about the rest, the standard other guys. But our buddy T-Rock would probably have a connection, but I can't imagine that we're really gonna TJ Yeldon can't cover a kickoff.
Well, ELO, we had one of the best special teams in the league. And Houston had the toughest.
I don't know what that shit means.
Their strength of schedule was 1. Houston. They've had a tough schedule.
they've had a tough schedule, but so have we the last. Since Denver, we've had about as tough of a defensive schedule as you could possibly have, and I think that's going to benefit. I mean, we'll see Saturday if that benefits our offense in any way, because it's hard to find a tougher stretch than Denver, Dallas, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, New England to go up against. And the team in general fared well in that stretch of games. So they're battle tested now, for sure. And I don't know. I mean,
we went 2-2 in those games. We scored more than 20 points once. Well,
we scored 20 against Denver, 26 against Dallas, and then 17.
Yeah.
But point being is that they looked. I mean, they played very well in the second half against New England, I thought. Pittsburgh game was just a mess. Baltimore, again, they started. This is what the thing about it. This has happened at home. This is why I said I was glad they're playing on the road. These big home games happen against New England, happen against Philly, happen against Baltimore. They're rattled. The hype, the crowd, excitement, everything, like they come out and just look terrible. Really on both sides of the ball. I mean,
and you love this coach.
Philly, but what?
And you love the coach. You can't have all these things.
You got young guys, man. It's human nature. You got young guys.
Who's young?
Their best players are 24 and under. What do you mean?
Brown and Beasley aren't.
Well, Brown and Beasley aren't. Their quarterback's 23. Running back's 22. Their tight end's 22. Their best cornerback is,
He's
22.
a veteran. I mean, this is
his third season. I mean,
it's only his
young. But the most important part is the quarterback, who's a young guy still. And it seems like he's just more composed and more playing within himself on the road, and they just look better on the road.
The Chuds on GR were saying that they love he's better when they throw interceptions because he's actually trying to do something with the ball. The only chance we have of winning is to
That's the dumbest shit ever. All right, that is just idiotic.
Because he had 5 interceptions out of the first 3 weeks or something. Oh, that's Jeremy White for you. You used to love him.
He threw, in 6 games. I saw the stat. He has 8 of his interceptions in 6 games. They went 5-1 in those games. I get it. When you throw interceptions, sometimes there's a lot that goes into it. Where are you throwing the interception?
It's a punt.
What's the situation? Whatever. But it has nothing to do with Allen. It's called making smarter decisions and learning and not throwing the ball into triple coverage. And
instead, he fumbles. Now he fumbles instead of throwing interceptions. The fumbles are way worse.
He's not turning the ball over much at all. He hasn't been, and he hasn't been since the Eagles game. He really isn't turning the ball over.
Well, he cost us the Baltimore game by fumbling inside his own 30.
Yeah, he did turn it over. No quarterback's not going to have 0 turnovers.
I'd much rather have an interception that's 35 yards downfield than fumbling at 10 yards behind your line of scrimmage.
What about a fumble? What about a pick 6? He doesn't have a single pick 6 this season.
Well, now you just cursed them, but
it's a ridiculous take. That's all. It's a ridiculous take.
It wasn't mine. It wasn't mine.
He's a young guy. He's going to make mistakes. He's not a finished product. The offense in general isn't a finished product. People, you included, want to rip on the GM. This team has made the playoffs 2 out of 3 seasons, and they have the 4th most cap space in the league. How can anyone say anything negative about the job that Brandon Beane has done? This team is in excellent position to be successful for a long time.
If Allen's good. Who gives a fuck about cap space? Cap space to me is meaningless.
Cap space, it means you can sign guys.
Who?
Look at what we did last season. We overhauled our roster. What do you mean who?
So then how are you going to overhaul it a second time? Who's going to take the money?
A second time, but you can maybe get, now that you have the infrastructure in place, you rebuild the offensive line, you have good veteran, 2 good quality NFL veteran receivers on the roster.
Yeah, so I know what we're going to do. We're going to trade for a defensive end, overpay him, which I don't mind. We'll probably overpay a guard. We're not going to. What receiver are we going to be able to find that's going to take our money? We're going to trade for AJ Green, who hasn't played in 2 of the last 3 years and is always hurt. I mean, the cap space is great if we can find someone to take it, but I don't know who other than trade. We're going to trade for a DN probably and overpay him, and that's what our biggest position of need. So that could open up some stuff. But I don't hate Bean, but because I don't like Allen. So we gave up the ton for Allen. We didn't surround him with talent early on, that's part of what I don't like. We knew 3 years ago that we needed a receiver and that we were going to have a young quarterback who needed weapons that he could depend on. And what do? We traded up for Zay Jones.
We brought in 2 receivers that exactly fit what you're talking about. Dependable NFL wide receivers.
Yeah, they're great complementary wide receivers.
Right, which is what you want with a young quarterback. You're drafting. They drafted Zay Jones before they took a quarterback. They
but
still
we
had
knew
Taylor when they drafted Jones.
You have to have a 2-year, 3-year, 5-year plan. Every single one of us knew the next year we were going to draft a quarterback.
Right, so what's wrong with drafting a receiver? Then you got him in your second and third year. And I don't think.
Well, Zay Jones was the bust.
I don't think they necessarily wanted Allen to play. I mean, they clearly didn't want Allen to play in the first year.
Well, yeah, you had Nathan fucking Peterman starting week 1 last year over him.
So the plan. So they drafted a receiver in 2017. By the time Allen was playing, in their mind, it's the third year for that guy. But that's not even the point. The point is you can't just draft high receivers with a young quarterback. That's not the way to do it. It doesn't work like that. You got to have guys that know what they're doing.
My whole thing is you draft a receiver 2 or 3 years ago because you knew the next year you're going to draft a receiver or a quarterback.
They drafted a receiver 3 years ago. He didn't work out.
Well,
you're not going to hit every pick.
Yes, you draft more than one.
A lot of really good draft picks.
That's why you don't trade up. That's why you don't trade up and you trade back. There were tons of receivers in that draft. Juju Smith-Schuster, we didn't have to trade up for anybody.
I don't remember the situation with Zay Jones, but obviously they traded up for him and could have stayed and drafted someone else that was better than that was a miss. What do you want? You're not going to hit every pick. Not liking Josh Allen. I just question. I don't understand how anyone on earth that's a Bills fan can not like Josh Allen. It doesn't make sense to me. I'll never understand it. What's the point of even being a fan of the Bills? What's the point of even...
You don't have to be a fanboy to want the team to win.
I want the team to win. You want the team to lose.
I want the team to win and score more than 18 points.
You 100% don't give a shit what you say. You want Allen to fail more than you want this team to win. That's a fact. Because you care more about being right than you care about life itself. And that's the truth.
No.
You want Allen to fail more than you want the Bills to win. If Allen has a terrible game, it's like a win-win for you. It's like a win-win for you because if the Bills lose, Allen's probably not going to play well. And then it's like, oh, Allen sucks. I was right. You were wrong. He blows. We need to draft Herbert, trade everything. I can already see it. I can foresee it.
Because you know that he's not going to have a good game.
How do I know that he's not going to have a good game? He had a great game against Dallas. He played well against New England. Sometimes you lose because you lose. It doesn't always fall on, the quarterback usually is responsible for, if you win a game, the quarterback's largely responsible. He's also largely responsible for you lose, but it's a team game, like you say. When I try and use wins and losses as, oh, Allen's good, that he's a winner. Oh, it's a team game. But if he loses, it's Allen. It's not a team game if he loses, it's Allen.
I liked him earlier this year. He was progressing, and then what? We stopped trying to score points. I don't know what happened.
Opposite. So that's literally the opposite of what anyone else would say. Because it was, oh, Allen's plateaued after the first month and a half of the season, and then he improved. But you're saying the opposite. I can't. I just can't with you.
Because I watched the games. I don't know what you're doing. You're on a train ride or something. I'm looking at him, and I'm not seeing anything the last month and a half. The Cowboys game, he played good in the Cowboys game. That was it.
You don't think he played good in the second half against New England? Honestly, you don't think he played good in the second half against New England?
In the fourth quarter? At the end of the third quarter, in the fourth quarter, when we run the ball 6 times and do nothing, we punt 3 and out, punt 3 and out. No, that's not good to me.
What about the play he made to Knox? What about the play he made to Brown? He got us the lead, and
he couldn't step into the ball. He couldn't step into the ball. That's the only reason that play worked, and you know it.
Step into the ball. Yeah, you're right.
Because he hasn't done it again. He didn't do it before that, and he didn't do it after that. The one play that he hits a long pass, the guy's diving at his knee, and he can't step into it and gun it over his head.
Okay, Steve. That's just a fucking idiotic take. You're a goddamn idiot.
It's true. You know it's true.
God. I can't even.
The only chance we have to win this game is to completely do something different on offense. We need to completely look different. I
said it last week. Unleash Yeldon.
We need, I don't know, more jet sweeps. We need to just we have to come out with a set of plays that we haven't run all year. And I think that Dayball's at Jim's packing his suitcase full of stingers when he goes to Cleveland on Sunday morning.
They ran the jet sweep like 5 times against the Jets. There's no doubt it's so obvious they're trying to set something up with that. And Bill O'Brien's probably too dumb to he'll fall for it. The fake jet sweep, something. They're setting something up with it, guaranteed.
Well, I don't know, but I wish this game was close. I wish the game.
Sweeps in a meaningless game.
I don't know. I mean, what? Why did Allen even play? But I wish this game was closer to Buffalo. It's impossible to get to Houston from here. Flights are like $700, $800. Tickets aren't even expensive. The flight is just astronomical, and I still think there's going to be a lot of Bills fans there. I think we're going to be. There'll be an audible Bills coalition down there.
Oh yeah, 100%. Bills fans travel, no question. They're yeah. Do you have any interest in really going to a Houston game in Houston?
I mean, if it was a direct flight, I'm not going to take a 5-hour flight with a layover in friggin' Newark or whatever. And
Arrowhead next week would be definitely like a bucket list thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, that'll be a lot more difficult to get, or tickets will be more expensive. I think there could be a good amount of fans in Baltimore. At least that's drivable, but I'm not looking past Houston. I just don't have faith in. Even if Allen plays all right, I just don't buy into Daboll to cook up a game plan unless our defense makes a big play.
I'm still waiting for our D to score. It hasn't happened yet. Maybe this is the week. Maybe Roberts bust a punt. We haven't had, other than our onside kick return TD, we haven't scored a non-offensive touchdown. So they're kind of due.
Isaiah McKenzie. He might, if Roberts is out, Duke will play, and McKenzie will have to be returning the kicks, which, I mean, their gunners are going to have a day probably. I don't trust McKenzie. That guy, if he's really going to be returning punts, they better tell him to fucking just dive out of bounds.
Nah, he's not. If Roberts is out, Hyde's returning punts. I guarantee it.
Well, hopefully it's not McKenzie. There's no way
they're going to risk a fumble on a punt, and if Roberts can't play, it's going to be
something memorable and horrific is going to happen.
Think about our last 2 real playoff games. The ends of those games are burned in my retinas. Even the end of the Jaguars game, but with Peterman throwing that pick, but that game just.
But even before the pick, the Peterman pick. Oh, of course, our quarterback gets hurt, and it was still a 1-possession game the whole time. He gets hurt in the fourth quarter, but no, they scored on 4th down on a pass to a fucking fullback. Even that's a nightmare play. That was a 4th down, and it was a fullback.
Did you really how invested in that game were you? I mean,
well, the people
invested
I was watching with a mom feed me spaghetti. I mean, I should have went someplace else to watch the game, but I mean, it was a weird game. It was
that game because that season was more about just breaking the drought. I cared about the game. Obviously, I was pissed when they lost, but I had no expectation whatsoever, and it was a miracle they even made the playoffs. But this year,
because you're so negative.
This year it's way different, man. This year I have expectations. I think this team can make a run. I think
make a run this year.
Yeah, this year. I think that they have guys on offense that can pop and they have untapped upside that I don't think other teams that are in the playoffs in the AFC can say that they have. I think that we know what the Chiefs are. We know what Houston is. We know what New England is.
You don't need upside if you're the Chiefs.
There's no way Baltimore can play better than they played this season. But I feel like our offense, the way I feel like they just don't score as many points as their production should. It seems to me that they play better on offense than the amount of points that they score, and I feel like they could. I think they could go. I think it's in the realm of possibilities that the offense kind of goes off a little bit, and averages scores 28 to 30 points in these games, and you never know, man. I mean, the defense is legit, so.
Well, until we score 28 or 30 points, I'm not going to hold my breath because I might as well keep living. And we got an extra day this year, so let's ramp this down. What's your prediction?
31-13, Bills.
It's gonna be a race to 22 points.
22.
It's gonna be a race to whoever gets 22 wins, but I think we're gonna lose 21-19. I just until it happens, it hasn't happened, and something awful or freakish or weird. Something that usually happens in Houston. We have a guy catch 2 83-yard bombs, and we come back after being up, or J.J. Watt has a pick six, or we get screwed on a pass interference call or something.
Yeah.
And last time Houston and Buffalo were in the playoffs, I mean, it was one of the craziest games in the history of the league. So.
Bills or comeback game? Was that it?
We haven't played Houston since then, have we?
Well, I didn't know. I get confused on what. Yeah, I mean,
Houston versus Buffalo.
We definitely have. I don't know if they were in the playoffs again, and we were. Whatever. But yeah, man, our last 2 wild card losses, we have the Music City Miracle, and we have the Flutie fumble, and it's just I don't know. We'll see. Maybe hopefully my prediction's right, yours is wrong, and we have a nice relaxing second half like we did on Thanksgiving. That would be ideal. Start thinking ahead to Tennessee. So we're all rooting for Tennessee, right? We want to go to Arrowhead and not M&T Bank.
Well, the only reason I'm rooting for Tennessee, well, multiple reasons. I think Tennessee could get hot, and they could come into our barn in 2 weeks. And fuck the Patriots. Bury them. Just stick a dagger in them. Make sure they're dead. Put a silver bullet in their head, too. Drink a couple silver bullets. Just end the Patriots. I mean, Tannehill's hot, but I don't know. That game, I can't think of anything other than the Bills game at this point, though.
They're, New England's toast. It's over, 100%. They're going to lose probably this Saturday. If not, they're definitely going to lose their next game, 100%.
Cracking a beer, huh? Well,
Buried them.
We'll see you down in Houston.
Well, I'll see you Saturday.
I got a surprise for everyone on Saturday too.
Jesus Christ.
Bills like Buffalo.
Go fuck yourself.
Shit, I'm all about the bills like Thurman Thomas. I don't tip, I pay bills. Bitches call me Buffalo.
Fuck it. Do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Hey, Peter.
Yeah.
Watch out for your cornhole, bud.
Okay, Lawrence.
This is Nathan for you.